Today I'm showing you guys how to make char cloth. Let's get right to it. Alright, first of all, you want to find yourself some old jeans or something you can cut up into small chunks, about maybe an inch and a half across. And then you just want to cut maybe 10 of them up and throw them in a little container like this. This is just an old Filson or, no, just oil wax container. And then I punched a hole in the top of it so all the gas can leak out. Alright, so we got the can right here. The fire's kind of burned down. Take some coals out of the fire, then just pop this right on top. Now it's hard to tell with all the smoke around it, but you can kind of see a little bit of smoke starting to come out that hole right there. Now that smoke is going to light on fire, and then it's going to go out. Once it lights on fire and then goes out, the smoke coming out of the hole, it's done. You can see that smoke lit on fire, and it's really quite a big flame. Okay, the flame's out. Now we're going to take the can out. Okay, I have my ferro rod and my char cloth here. Now I'm going to put this just in the top of the can. It's very hard to see on camera, but if it'll focus, you can see that char cloth is burning around the edges. That's how you properly make char cloth. Today we're talking about how to get water when you ran out of water backpacking or four-wheeling and you have no filter system. You should carry, and I know this is a bigger can. They make a lot smaller cans of fuel. But this is what I have today. So I'm going to show you how to get the water out of the river without getting the dirt and the moss and everything, and how to properly boil the water so it's safe to drink. Here's my stove I'll be using today. It's just a little MSR stove. The fuel can connects to this, and it has these little wings that pop up, but they easily fold up like this. It screws on nice and easy. You just gotta fit that on, and then just screw it on. And just like that, you have a little mini stove. I'll leave a link to the stove down below. You can see there's ice here, so I'm gonna try to break the ice so I don't have to get quite as close out on the ice so I slip and fall into the river. Just like that, we have a full cup of water. Now I have the water, carefully set it on top. Make sure it's sturdy before you let it go. And then I have this tea bag here. This is just an orange tea because we live in a spot where it's not in the mountains or anything like that. So this water is gonna be pretty irony, not taste very good. It'll be safe to drink once we boil it, but just for a little flavor so it tastes better, I have this orange tea to put in. Now, a myth that some people still believe is that you have to boil your water for 8 minutes. That's not true. You have to boil your water for 1 minute at a rolling boil. If you want to be safe, you can do 2 minutes, but 1 minute should be perfectly fine. All the bacteria should be killed, but make sure it's a rolling boil before you start that 1 minute timer. Okay, now that it's at a nice rolling boil, set a 1 minute timer and then you're good to go. Alright, we have our hot water here, we have our tea here. Also, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Please consider subscribing. We're almost to 2,000. That's kind of crazy because I never thought we'd get to 1,000. I'm showing you how to make one of the best DIY stoves to boil your water or to cook something when you're out in the woods and all you have is just a simple can or something like that. Let's get right into it. Okay, so first of all, you're going to want to get a can like this. It's just like a tuna can or a can that canned chicken will come in, something like that. And then you want to find some wood shavings or sawdust, something like this that I have in this bag. So first of all, I'm going to melt some of this wax into this sawdust and then stir it around. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, so as you can see there, I melted a bunch of wax in. Okay, so now I'm going to melt a little bit more wax in, and then I'm not going to mix it the second time. I'm just going to leave it on top for like a top layer of wax. Okay, I have some birch bark here now, and I have my ferro rod. I'm going to light some of this birch bark and then drop it into these shavings because it's a little hard to start those shavings when they're down in a can. Just drop it in there. Let it catch that wax and everything. So cup goes right here. The stick goes on the edge to keep it from putting the fire out, so it keeps enough oxygen in there. There are bubbles forming and it's quite a bit of steam coming out. I would change a couple things to make it even better, but right now it's pretty good. Today we're talking about 5 survival myths and we're gonna see if they're true or not. So let's get right into it. First survival myth is that you can drink out of any running water. That's not true. The only water you can drink like out of a stream like this is if it's bubbling right out of the ground and you know there are no swamps or beaver dams or anything above it. Otherwise, just boil the water, be safe. Second myth is that the moss always grows on the north side of the tree. It doesn't. I've tested a bunch of trees and some moss does grow on the north side of the tree, but if it's a very moist and wet area, kind of a shaded area, the moss will grow all the way around to the tree. So moral of the story is just carry a compass. The third thing is you can drink salt water. You can't drink any ocean water. If you're in the ocean, or if you're by the ocean and you are thirsty, lost, whatever, you have to boil the water until you get all the salt out. Otherwise, it's no good. It's just gonna make you even more thirsty and make you sick. Okay, the fourth thing is a bow drill. Now bow drills do work. I haven't tried them. I've watched a bunch of people use them. But you need the right tools. So if you're gonna go out in the woods and use a bow drill to start a fire, you can't just grab any random wood. You're gonna need really dry wood, and you're gonna need the right woods to be able to build the bow drill. Otherwise, it's just gonna burn right through the wood, and you're never gonna get a spark, or a coal, I mean. Or it's just never gonna start if it's too wet. Because to start a bow drill fire, you need a lot of hot friction for a long time to get ember. Okay, lastly, number 5, a lot of people think you need to boil your water for like 8 minutes. You don't. If you have a little stove or something like that, and you boil your water for like 1 minute at a rolling boil, it's safe to drink. So if you boil it for more than that, obviously it's not gonna harm it, but you're gonna get less water through evaporation, and it's just gonna burn your resources if you're trying to keep that fire really hot to boil your water instead of keeping you warm. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye.